The rematch, the WBO super middleweight titleist Gilberto Ramirez, giving that Hart his golden opportunity once again. Like I said, it's funny that I chose to talk about this fight considering I just made that Wilder Fury video. Is the rematch you really needed? How I talked about, I'm not a fan of immediate rematches, even if it is a good fight. I'm just not a fan of it. You know, and this rematch, I like how they did it. You can say Hart deserved a pretty quick turnaround rematch, just like Fury does. You know, both deserve another rematch. But I like the fact that how you let Hart soak in his losses, try and build back a worthy comeback. He didn't fight too good of a competition in his fights. You know, he played it safe, considering the WBO didn't even drop him in the rankings. That was kind of weird, you know. But you know, it just shows you. If you look at the rankings, it shows you where Hart is. Cause remember, this fight, it was announced that the winner of this fight is gonna fight the WBO final eliminator, which is between Vincent Feigenbutz and Shifat Ishufi. So if you're wondering who the fuck are they, don't feel bad, but that's who the fight is. The winner of this fight fights, and I'm happy for that because I want Shifat Ishufi to get fucked up. You know, I don't like how he's been cherry picking in the division, getting a high spot. I think either three of these guys will fuck him up. Gilberto Ramirez, Jesse Hart, and Feigenbutz. You know, I think they smashed Ishufi. Now, this fight, this four-way dance, you know, Feigenbutz, I think, beats Ishufi. He's going to fight the winner of Jesse Hart and Ramirez rematch. Now, this fight, I'm going back and forth on this fight, folks. I am literally, like, part of me just want to say Jesse Hart finished strong and he made the adjustments and he knows what to do. And then you're like, no, he does he know what to do? Because he wasn't doing it consistent. And Ramirez is like the super middleweight Jared Hurd. You know, if every division has that type of stalker, you know, I guess you could say 140 has what Regis Progress. He's kind of a stalker guy. 147 has Spence. 154 has Jared Hurd. And 160. Who's a stalker at 160? I can't think right now, but 168 has fucking Ramirez. That dude just be stuck. 160 had Triple G, you know. 160 and Ramirez with him stalking. You've seen the fight. His moments were like you can tell he was really dominating the fight with the knockdown. With his game plan was being more effective. The body punching, the combination. Hart rallied back like a soldier. It makes you believe, you know, he was stunning him. But if he was hitting him so clean, so hard, Ramirez wasn't going nowhere. But that 11th round when he stuck him and stunned him, can that happen earlier? You know, if Hart was able to do it before, can that happen earlier, or was it just a moment of fatigueness, or was it the right shot? Like watching that fight again and again, I watched that fight like 4 times. You know, it's a pretty damn good fight. But the more you see it, you you see like many times Hart was about to go. It looked like he was ready to get knocked out, finished, but he dug back, and you notice Ramirez has the faster hands in this. It's the faster hands versus the who has the feet, because the combination. Because Hart needs to be on the outside. Like I said, what adaptations? I don't believe Ramirez is going to make any adaptations for this fight. And if he does make an adaptation, it's going to be tough for Hart. Because the only adaptation Ramirez really needs to make is to throw more jabs. And if he's throwing more jabs, it's going to be harder for Hart. That's the only adaptation Ramirez really needs to make, because he worked the body well. He put the pressure on mentally well. He His shots were accurate. He worked the body, like I said. He was better at throwing combinations. That his attack, his combinations were his seemed like he has faster hands and more accurate shots when they're throwing in combination. While Hart's whole offense was in that one punch stage, and it's like he throws his body into his punches, not necessarily his torque. So it looks like he doesn't get all of his punches on it, and he doesn't quite turn his hands. I don't know if he was just tired in the second half, but for as much as he was hitting Gordo with those shots, unless Homo just has a fucking steel jaw, dude, because he was eating shots up until that 11th round. You know, like I said, to me, and his corner, like I said, he don't really need the main adaptation Jesse Hart needs to make is listen to his fucking corner. The whole fight, the corner was telling him, you can't stand in front of this dude. You need to box his ass from the outside. They knew that, like, dude, this dude, he's a pressure buster, a buster. He has fast hands, and he's faster than you in the inside. He hits heavier than you in the inside, and that's what's hard about the adaptation for Jesse Hart. Besides, he was getting beat up in the body. His best attribute is his grit and toughness in the inside. But for him to be successful against Ramirez, he needs to, and his corner is advising him, move around the ring, get your shots, work behind the jab and get your shots, because he has faster feet. He's able to get in and out on the angles and pop shot Ramirez, and then he could hold his own in the inside, but just sticking in the inside for over his welcoming period, Ramirez is going to win those battles all the time. So his corners advising him the right game plan. Stay on the outside, pick your shots, use your movement, work behind. He has to have that jab pumping on the movements, and then inside attack when needed, and clinch up like they were telling him what to do. Now, was he just not listening, or was just that body attack just killing his legs? But those are the adaptations that, to me, these fighters, if there's going to be adaptation, because most likely it was just going to go to round 13. But if there is adaptation, Ramirez is going to have to pump out more jabs, and if he does, that's going to be hard for Hart to get through. And Hart needs to take it on the outside, move like he was doing in rounds 1 and a little bit of rounds 2. Like I said, even though he had success in the second half, coming back, digging in the inside trenches, when he was hot, and I saw Ramirez answer back, that fizzle, his face he looked exhausted and it looked shaky. It looked like his momentum could be taken like that. So I advise him to really adapt and listen to his corner. Like I said, and this fight is man. I go back and forth. Part of me is saying, like, okay, all he has to do is stay on the outside, listen to his corner, because he was doing successful. I go hard on that. And then part of it is saying, like, can you trust Hart's stamina? Zerto's gonna put that fucking pressure, and he said his combinations is good. I think we we don't credit Zerto good enough, because his competition since Jesse Hart has been so. He's his English. He's learning English. He doesn't get much TV time. He's not. I don't know. He just not pushed like a Mexican Canelo star. He's trying to get there, but he's a good. The dude's good, but and I think we think of him just as a body puncher, which the dude has great body work, but the dude's an overall, I think, a pretty decent ass boxer. I don't think he's credited by a lot of American mainstreamers yet. Whew, this is a tough fight. Man. Hart can do it, but I'm gonna go with what's been consistent. I'm gonna go with the champ. You know, I want to root for Hart on this one. I really do. He's a nice little star, but Zerto seems like he's consistent. He's showing up, and if he gets beat, it looks like he might pull out a 7-5 fight. You know, I see him doing enough to win. He's gonna win a close one. I just Hart. I don't know. I think he really needs his legs, and I don't know if he's gonna have the legs for a 12 rounder again. I think Zerto's gonna work his body, get him again, because unless he not gets Zerto out of there, I see that gap in the second win hurting. The gap to his second win hurting Jesse Hart. This the Double RT Boxing Show. Tough fight, tough fucking fight. December 14th. Check it out.